behind me, the most famous bridge in the entire world. So I just arrived in San Francisco. We just came from Yosemite. So now I'm really excited to get a real feel of the city, whether it's going to Fisherman's Wharf, seeing the Golden Gate Bridge, obviously the trolleys, and just everything that the city has to offer. I've been told it's a city that I'm gonna love, so let's get right into it. So I am now outside Fisherman's Wharf, and you could feel the vibrancy. So I am so excited to actually get to check this out. It feels like probably 97% of the people who are at Fisherman's Wharf right now are tourists, and the other 3% are the workers. But still, like I've already said, a very fun place to go to. And if you're in San Francisco, you have to check it out, even if you hate the touristy parts of cities. One of the big things in Fisherman's Wharf is the seafood stands where you can go grab something to eat. A lot of fresh crab, a lot of clams, a lot of lobsters. Crabs are the biggest thing here. And in addition to that, probably one of the staples of these types of stands is inside an actual sourdough bread bowl is you have this nice clam chowder soup. The sea lions are my main takeaway from here, and really the only reason why I came to Fisherman's Wharf. So I have made it to Lombard Street, the most crooked street in the entire world. The street was built in 1922 and remains such a large tourist landmark today. Now that we are at the top, look at this incredible view you get. You see the hills, the city, and you can even see out over the bay. Just look at this incredible view. And way off in the distance over the city, you're able to see the Bay Bridge. So let me give you a little bit of a rundown on the history of cable cars. So the cable car was first invented here in 1873. Yeah, invented here in San Francisco. And the reason for that was to be able to transport mining equipment. So for nearly 30 years after that, it became a key part of transportation within the city. Now the cars aren't actually used really for that. They're more of like a commodity for tourism purposes, but still very cool how they are so integrated in San Francisco culture, and they're really world known. Right behind me, the most famous bridge in the entire world. The site of the Golden Gate Bridge is stunning. I mean, look at this background that I have behind me. The bridge right here. Wow, I did not expect it to be like this. I really thought it was just going to be a bridge that overlooked a bay, but with all the hills in the background, unbelievable. People may say the Golden Gate Bridge really just is a tourist attraction, but the beauty of it with the bridge here, looking in the background, and right there, there's Alcatraz. Yeah, I am actually stunned by it. Another thing also is that we have the Pacific Ocean right out there, and the beauty of the shorelines. We got the rocks and the waves crashing down. We got some wind, so we got some pretty big waves coming in. What's unbelievable is that you have these rocks behind me. There are waves and there are people surfing right now. It's the end of December right now and we have surfers. This is wild. One of the things with the Golden Gate Bridge is that there are so many paths that you can take that just lead you along the coastline. You see that pier right there? We're gonna make it to that pier. So you get to the bridge, make sure you're not just going to go to the viewing platform, see it there, see the bridge from all different angles, because it really is remarkable. I think that this one may actually be my favorite view. Bridge, shoreline, San Francisco skyline right there. When this bridge was completed in 1933, it was the largest suspension bridge in the entire world. And I've made it onto the pier, and we look out there again, San Francisco skyline, turn my back, Golden Gate Bridge. On the pier by the bridge, everyone is fishing, crabbing. It really is a big event here. I don't know if you can tell, there is no driver in that seat. It's one of San Francisco's self-operated, self-driving pickup cars that operate similar to an Uber or a Lyft. You really get the feel of big tech. I mean, whether it's the constant billboards for companies like Apple, like Okta, like Zoom, or just seeing the big biotech offices that I'm walking by, it really, San Francisco is known as one of the technology centers of the universe. But I have just entered the oldest Chinatown in all of North America. We're starting off our time in Chinatown with the Dragon Gate right behind me. And we're gonna go check out everything that this area has to offer. I am just really shocked at how big this Chinatown is. I knew it was gonna be massive, but it's just going street after street after street. Every street is incredibly busy. It's just such a great sight to see. We got this giant bag of flat fortune cookies. And wow, they're warm and they taste so good. These fortune cookies are well worth it. They're good. So right now we are entering Union Square. This looks like such a nice area with all the shops, and you still have holiday lights up. So this is like the equivalency of New York's Fifth Avenue. You have all the high-end stores here, and although it's pouring rain right now, but I'm sure tomorrow I'm going to be able to really feel the liveliness that the street has and this area has. This is peak San Francisco for you. A location where you could play Squid Game in virtual reality. Wow. The rain has finally stopped, and look at the rainbow going right over the city. One major observation I have as I'm passing designer stores like these in Union Square is that most of these stores have armed security guards outside of them, which obviously I can't record those security guards so I can't show it to you, but just the fact that they are there to stop any crime, stop stealing, really shows that in San Francisco right now, crime is a big issue. Union Square is so lively. It has a feel exactly like Rockefeller Center in New York. And right behind me, it's literally 60 degrees plus right now. And they have ice out there for people to skate. It's very slippery, but it's still there. It's like watery ice, but still, to get this in San Francisco, I'm very surprised that they have this. The hills are unlike anything I've ever seen before. I mean, you're literally walking up hills and down hills throughout the entire city. Every other city I've been to has just been relatively flat. This is definitely a very cool feature. Just to show you how stark the hills are, the street literally goes down right there. And it's so steep, you can't even really see much of the street that's in front of you. My camera is held perfectly straight right now. And you could really just see how crooked the road is right now. There's a reason that Lombard Street is known as the crookedest street in the entire world. Look how the sidewalk slants down, but the homes are still built on 90 degrees. The way they have an extra base right there, I think that's pretty cool. Here's one of the bases to adjust for the steepness. You see you have the entrance for the home right here, and you have this additional white base, which is able to keep the whole house leveled on really perpendicular to what should be the ground. And the great thing about these hills is that it gives you a quick little mini workout. When you're going up there, you start to feel it a little bit in your legs, the burn, if you're going up for a long period of time, which is great. Adds up active calories burned very quickly. If this clip doesn't show you how crazy the hills actually are, then I don't know what will show you. Look at these cars. You have the sidewalk, but you actually have stairs right next to it, just in case you don't have the stamina to go up the sidewalk or just to make it easier. Out of nowhere, you just get phenomenal views like this. I mean, how incredible is it? You see some residential homes in the background. You have the bridge, just the overall colors. It's incredible. So I've spent a lot of time talking about these hills, and rightfully so. It's very rare for a city to be built like this and for it to have such an impact on the city in so many different ways. But now it's time to actually move on to another part of the city. Let's go. So I made it to Oracle Park, home of the San Francisco Giants. This stadium is so nice, and just the overall atmosphere around with all the restaurants, residential area. Wow, game day must be so fun. I always love to check out the stadiums, especially of MLB teams when I'm here, because also every MLB stadium is completely unique. It's not like hockey and basketball arenas where everything's so similar. I love the architectural design of this stadium too, just with kind of like the brick walls and then the entrance that gives such similar vibes to kind of like the sign by Fisherman's Wharf. And then we're gonna check out McCovey's Cove now, which is very important for the Giants because it's that little like cove, a little bay that's right behind the right field wall that on game days, people are literally kayaking there, hoping that a home run ball is hit out of the stadium, and they go and they scramble for the ball, and then they go and grab it. Oh, they have bricks similar to the Mets. It's hard to see, but we're getting a nice glimpse into Oracle Park. Oracle Park, I absolutely love. I really hope one day I can make it here for an actual game. And then look at this. Right behind me, we have this such nice marina. And then even every other part of Oracle Park on the outside, look at this seal statue. Yeah, there really is a reason why this stadium is considered one of the nicest in the entire MLB. Compared to the Oakland Coliseum right across the bay, wow, Oracle Park blows the Oco out of the water. So right behind me is McCovey Cove, which game day, there will be kayakers all throughout. Stadium is literally right there. That's the foul pole right there, which shows you how close the field is. And look, the water right here. Phenomenal view of the bay. And way out there, you could see some of Oakland. Got the stadium right behind me. The nice marina, Bay Bridge right there. And then what about this? The San Francisco skyline. This area is so nice. Bay Bridge, marina, skyline, stadium. As I'm walking past Oracle Park now and trying to get more into the city, it is such a nice area. You got some park space behind me. You got the city landscape. You got the skyline. And just overall just seems like such a fun place to be, especially on a game day. So now we are going to Coit Tower, which is a landmark here in the city. And it was built in 1933, really just as like a beautification project for the entire city. It's really nice. It's cool architecture, and you can see the entire San Francisco Bay and parts of the San Francisco skyline from here. We decided to stop here because it was a very short distance from Fisherman's Wharf, and wow, it is worth it. You gotta go up some hills to get here, but the view is immaculate. What's really nice about here is that there's a lot of greenery, a lot of grass, a lot of overall just different plants. So very nice to have even just like a color contrast, the green to the blue behind me. But you know, plant life in general in a major city is always such a plus. If you want to, you could actually go to the top of this tower. It's an observation deck, and you can see the entire San Francisco skyline, but I really don't think you need to do that because, like I've already said, you're going up the hills and you are getting phenomenal views just by being up the hills. Perfect proof right here that you don't need to go to the top of the tower to get a terrific view. And as we start to make our way up Lombard Street, you can see Alcatraz Island way off in the distance. And we got Alcatraz Island right out there. Right behind me is Grace Cathedral, another notable landmark. So now we're gonna head towards the financial district. I always find the financial district is a cool part of a city to go to because even though it's a lot of office buildings, you still get restaurants and you still get a sense of kind of like the businesses that are really headquartered in the city. Like in San Francisco, a lot of biotech companies and just tech in general. Right here, the Trans-America building, visible from nearly every part of San Francisco, long and pointy. The architecture's so cool. For some reason though, it reminds me of the Pyongyang Hotel in North Korea. The design of the building is so cool. As I'm walking through the much more well-to-do areas in San Francisco, frankly, the purely wealthy part of San Francisco, it's really reminding me of wealth disparity, especially in areas like New York, like Chicago. But here, it might be more stark than in any other city I've been to. First, I thought this was some sort of museum or memorial. I had no idea what this building was. It is incredible, just the architecture in the middle of a major city. Can you believe that this is a city hall? Oh my God, it looks like a state capitol building. I'm in awe over this building. I mean, you have its Romanesque features with its dome, you got the columns, and it just creates such a strong presence, and it just feels, you feel the grandeur when you're here. If you go down the wrong street, you will encounter a very stark homeless population. The mental illness crisis is a big issue at the moment. So when you're here, make sure you just avoid some areas like the Tenderloin, some various other areas around there, because I am noticing garbage on the ground, human feces. It's not, it's like, ugh. But everywhere else in the city, I'm loving.